Hi guys, how are you? Naendelea vipi? We are back again with Miss Mumbus.
Hi guys, how are you?
With another interesting conversation, mommy-daughter conversation. But today we are not alone. We have a guest.
Special guest.
A special guest, yes. And her name is drum rolls, Miss Yvonne. Welcome, Yvonne.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Now, yeah, you can introduce yourself. So
Okay.
tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Yvonne Kanyi. I am a licensed esthetician and small business owner, and I focus mostly on sharing skincare tips and also providing skincare services and solutions for people all over.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for coming to have a chat with us today.
Sure.
And as Yvonne has put it, asha tuwapatia mwa Kenya conversation yetu leo. What we are going to talk about. Our conversation today is about skincare. And specifically skincare for a preteen or a teenager. Let's say that preteen and a teenager. And of course our teenager here or preteen is Miss Mumbus. So the conversation is basically when is the right time to introduce our daughters and even sons. Yeah, skincare si ya wasichana peke yake. It's both for our sons and our daughters. So when is the right time to introduce our children, preteens and teenagers to a skincare routine? Okay, so let me give you a backstory of how this one came to be, this conversation, or how we decided to have this conversation. So in the house, of course, I am an old mother. So of course I have my own skincare routine. So I have my products, and every time I am washing my face or doing something and she happens to come to my bedroom, lazima tusumbuane. Because she will want to take my moisturizer and apply on her face. She's very curious about my serum. Anataka kuona ini ya nini, kwa nini misipaki. Then I have my sunscreen. So she wants to try out my products. But every time, go, Mumbus! Tunashindanga hivyo. Because I feel she can't. There's no way she can use the same products I'm using. Because in my head, I'm assuming she's still a kid. She's still a child. And her skin is very young.
Yeah.
So, but then I realized, but she's growing up. She's growing up pole into our one. And I'm sure at some point, see petroleum jelly too. Because that is the only thing we have used. That's right, yeah? That's the only thing she has used ever, like since she was born. It can't just be petroleum jelly. And then I happened to have a conversation with another parent who's a friend of mine. Akaniambia, I don't know what you were talking about. Akaniambia, but I need to go buy sunscreen for my daughter. I was like, what? Nikamwambia, sunscreen? Anapaka sunscreen? Akaniambia, yeah. As in she needs, sunscreen. Anyway, that's how this conversation came to be. Yeah, because we are trying to raise a wholesome woman. So please, Yvonne, tell us, when is the right time to introduce our teens, daughters and sons, both to a skincare routine?
So I guess the age she's around now, like 12 to 13, it's a good age to get started. Some people start because of necessity, not because they want to. So those who have conditions like eczema or they have acne, like they have to be able to manage it. So those ones you kind of have to introduce it because it just won't go away if you ignore it. But in terms of maintenance, you can start now at 12, 13. It's a good age to get started. Sunscreen, of course, is the top most important. Like you can leave the rest of them. Sunscreen is really important because especially at this age when they're in school, they're out in the sun a lot. So protecting them from the sun is really important. So you can also get ahead of like the sun damage that really is caused. But then the three basics are cleanser, moisturizer, sunscreen. They can start with those basics. If they don't have any major concerns that they're trying to address, those are okay to start with.
So we're having this conversation at the right time.
Yes.
13, she's actually 12 years old.
Okay, so I heard you mention moisturizer, sunscreen, and
Cleanser.
the cleanser. So I was wondering why those three? Why specifically those three?
Okay, so those are like the 3 fundamental basics. Because a cleanser is just to wash your face. Soaps aren't always like the best option. A lot of them can be too alkaline for your skin, meaning they can be stripping. So a cleanser is just like a gentle way to get your face clean, basically. Then the moisturizer is to help replenish your skin after you've washed it, the way you apply lotion on your body after you shower. And then our sunscreen is to protect your skin from the sun. So those are like the 3 basic functions you need to get you through like every day to make sure your skin is clean and it's well nourished and it's protected from the sun.
Oh, okay. So I can tell my friends to use the same products.
The same categories, yes, but the specific products you use might be different because everybody's skin type differs. You might have oily skin, your friend might have dry skin, your other friend might have dry acne prone skin. So there's different skin types and also who are prone to different concerns. So you pick your products based on what your concerns and also what your skin type is.
Oh.
So how can I as a parent help her know what kind of skin she has?
Okay, great. So the first thing is also just to ask yourself, how does my skin normally feel? Does it usually tend to get oily? Just think about how your skin feels as you go through your day. Do you find yourself having to wipe it down, or you tend to feel like your skin feels really, really stripped and tight? But then also you can conduct a test at home, which is you just wash your face with a cleanser. Don't apply anything for like 15 to 30 minutes and then just observe how your skin responds. So if it starts getting really, really oily, then you know your skin is oily. If it starts feeling tight and flaky, then you know your skin is dry. But then if it just feels okay, you feel fine, your skin is probably normal. But then you can also feel different things in different areas. Like your T-zone might get oily, then your cheeks might feel tight. That's combination skin. So that's also another way to just confirm what your skin type is.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Interesting. Do you know what your skin type is? From her explanation, what do you think your skin type is?
Okay, so I've never tried to find out.
But how does it normally feel?
Okay. So over the past couple weeks, my skin has just not been doing it for me. It doesn't seem to be cooperating nowadays. So
What do you mean? What do you feel? Ama, what do you see? Like, why do you say it's not cooperating?
So me, when someone says that their skin is not okay, me, I imagine like it's breaking out, it's dry, it's all of the above.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what like to use on my skin because honestly I don't know why. I just don't know.
Okay, so I'll ask Yvonne to recap the different skin types. So you listen and then you tell me from her explanation what you think your skin type is. So she mentioned there's dry, there's normal, and there's oily. Yeah?
Yes.
So there are those 3 skin types.
There's combination as well.
And there's a combination skin. So combination is you're in between.
So you'll tend to have both
Dry
2 or more skin types in different areas. Yes.
So some of like
Some will be
T-zone
oily,
is-
some dry.
Ah, all right. So she said a dry skin is the one that feels very tight, and flaky. Like your skin, even after moisturizing, like applying your petroleum jelly, your skin still feels very dry. Normal is when your skin just feels stocky. And then oily is when after your petroleum jelly unakaa ni kama mtu alienda akakumwagilia hivi shoo, una shine. So from those 3, which one do you think best describes your skin?
I think the normal.
Normal.
Yeah, because it's not that extreme and it's not dry and cracky and it's not greasy. It's neither of them.
Okay, so you see, now you've learned something new today. Your skin is
Normal.
normal.
Yeah.
So Yvonne, one of the biggest challenges we experience as parents who have preteens or teenagers is acne. Please tusaidie hapo kwa acne.
Yes.
What are we supposed to do about that?
Okay, so it's a concern a lot of people go through, especially in that phase, because your hormones are fluctuating. So, and when certain hormones are in fluctuation, it kind of boosts sebum production, which can now increase chances of acne. And also, if you're going to be acne prone most of your life, it tends to start then that's when it tends to manifest. So ignoring it is not going to make it go away, which is usually the technique of most parents. But then you want to try and start including some treatments. So of course, get them the basics first: cleanser, moisturizer, sunscreen. Make sure they're safe for their skin type and that they're not comedogenic and that it won't worsen the acne. Then you want to
what?
Comedogenic.
What does that mean?
Comedogenic means clogging the pores. And that can aggravate the acne. So you don't want to use like really heavy things like maybe shea butter on acne prone skin. That's going to make it worse. Or coconut oil. Those are very comedogenic things. So you want to make sure what you're using is safe for their skin type also, so it's not making the acne worse. I'd highly suggest consulting with your derma or also your pediatrician, because it is a sensitive age and you want to make sure whatever you're doing is safe for them, because some of the acne treatments can be quite strong. So I always recommend just double check with them, because we're not technically medical professionals, so I just like to be safe. But then usually you want to add either salicylic acid or benzoyl peroxide depending on the nature of the breakouts. So you'll just examine and see how the breakouts are manifesting, then based on that you'll be able to add an acne treatment. But then this will come with the basics. The mistake I see a lot is just only doing the acne treatment and no basics. It's like going to the gym and you're not eating well. It's not helping. So it's good for those two to work together.
But bottom line, Yvonne has said, please consult with your pediatrician or dermatologist. Yes. Before you go to Yvonne and tell her these are the products I want you to give me. Anyway, so me, I'm very curious to see. Mumbus, are you very curious to see something? Because Yvonne came with some bags. This is very exciting. You know, this is your favorite part. So we're very curious to see. So when you talk about a cleanser, moisturizer, and a sunscreen, Nini exactly. Do you have some products you can recommend?
Yes, I do. I brought some things with me. So I'll first show you guys the basics. So I did bring, so this is an example of a cleanser. I've noticed for parents with, teens, they don't want to spend too much money because skincare can really range. Please, it can really range, but there are some good budget-friendly options. Simple is a really good brand that's budget-friendly but also effective, especially for the younger ones. So then these are some moisturizer options. So if you have oily skin, you want to go for the light option. If you have dry skin, you want to go for the rich option. So those are some moisturizers. And then now for sunscreen, there are many options. But I just brought one of my favorites, which is the La Roche-Posay Shampoo Fluid. And it doesn't leave a white cast. I think one of the things that demonizes sunscreen is that white cast. But the key is just knowing to pick the right one. So your child also doesn't also hate putting it on because it makes them look bad. So those are the basics. This is another moisturizer option that you can consider. This one is a bit more higher end, should you wish that you want to spend a little bit more. And then now for the acne treatments. So I mentioned that there's two kinds of acne treatments. There's benzoyl peroxide and there's salicylic acid. So for benzoyl peroxide, these are some options that we stock. This is panoxyl 4%. Then CeraVe also has a benzoyl peroxide wash. These two come in the form of a wash. I tend to prefer acne treatment sometimes in the form of a wash as a fast line of action because it's less likely to be irritating because you're washing it off. It's not a leave-on. So those are some options. With actives, you want to generally stay on the lower end with younger ones unless the acne proves very unresponsive to it. Then you can amp it up, but always with consulting your doctor. Then for salicylic acid, these are some options. There are a few options for salicylic acid. Again, these two come in the form of a cleanser, but then this one is in the form of like a leave-on treatment. So these are just some of my favorite acne treatment options. Yes.
Mumbus?
Okay.
Now you have questions.
Yes. If you had to pick like 3 of each, no. What?
Yes.
If
cleanser, moisturizer.
3 of each of the groups. For me.
For you, okay.
Yeah, which one would you pick?
For the cleanser, we can go for this. For the moisturizer, I think I probably want to give you the Simple Light, and then now sunscreen.
Can you see this?
Yes. She's really adding to carts.
I know, like she's kaching, Mumbus.
Hiya. Anyway.
How do you feel now?
I am over the moon.
Are you excited to start
Yes.
on your new skincare routine?
Yes.
What do you want to say to Yvonne?
Thank you so much for these. Oh, sorry, yeah, for all of them.
Yes.
And I really learned a lot from this conversation. I'm glad I know what my skin type is and everything else. And yeah, I think I know what to do with it now.
Yes, not to say that your skin has holes. Skin doesn't have holes. Good. So, just to recap, Yvonne.
Yeah.
For our preteens, you advise for them to use a cleanser, a moisturizer, and a sunscreen.
Major.
Yes.
Basic products. That's where that's the baseline. Yeah.
Yes.
And then if you have a teen who's prone to acne or who's already experiencing problems with acne, you need to consult your pediatrician or a dermatologist before you go to buy any products. Please ongea na daktari, si ndio? Yeah, because they're still ni watoto bado. Wasikudanganya, bado ni watoto. Na before you introduce them to anything, we need to make sure that the doctor has given the go-ahead. So, you remember during the introduction I mentioned that I have my own skincare routine, and I have serums, I have, eye creams, I have all these things. So I am sure there are products that I can use that you cannot use. Is that true?
Yes. So some things like retinol, not that it's exactly harmful for her, it's just like there's no need for her to start this early. Retinol normally you start like at 25. So until she gets there, like unless she had, sometimes with severe acne, like really, really severe acne, they do give you some form of a retinoid to help manage it. But otherwise she doesn't need to be using retinol. I'd say once she gets older, maybe towards like 16, 17, 18, she can start adding things like a hydrator, maybe a vitamin C or an antioxidant, but other than that, like just keep it plain with the basics. Then when she gets up there, she can start adding more things.
Mumbus, do you know what a retinol is?
I'm guessing it's some form of cream that goes on your face.
What is a retinol?
So retinol is an ingredient. It's a derivative of vitamin A that usually helps to boost collagen and elastin production. So normally as you get older, collagen and elastin starts to plummet, and you want to kind of help boost this. So retinol is usually able to go into the skin and help boost the production of these two things that make your skin firm and soft and plump. And it can also help with boosting cellular turnover, which is basically how quickly your skin sheds dead skin and then brings new cells to the surface. So you see, when you're younger, your skin hasn't started slowing down this process yet. So right now it's functioning okay. Once you hit like 21, 25 is when things start going downhill. That's when you need to start trying to fix it. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. I think that was a very interesting conversation.
That was a very interesting conversation.
And now we can stop sumbuaing. You can stop sumbuaing me with my products. Now you have your own. Yes? Yes?
Yes.
Great. I think the conversation, I think skincare is a very broad topic. I think we can only do it in batches. So sisi tumesema yetu, saizi ya today, the conversation we were having with Yvonne was on preteen skincare. Preteen and teen skincare routine. And I think we've covered that. So basics: cleanser, moisturizer, sunscreen. I will keep repeating: cleanser, moisturizer, sunscreen. So if you want to start, you can start, my fellow parents. If you have your daughter like this one who's always harassing you for products, we can start there. And then tukifika huko 16, 17, 18, when you need to introduce something else, tutaita tu Yvonne arudi hapa.
Yes.
And then now we can continue the conversation as they grow older. Thank you so much, Yvonne.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I think now we know where to start. Other than our petroleum jelly, which you can still use, yes?
After
now we've
moisturizer.
after as a moisturizer. After moisturizer.
Petroleum gel is actually not a moisturizer. People make that mistake, and that's one of the biggest mistakes I see in using it. It's meant to be used afterwards, because petroleum jelly can only seal in moisture. It's not able to introduce it. Which is why moisturizer is really important. Which is why you can apply petroleum jelly, but you still feel dry.
Yeah.
Because there's no moisture. So you need to do your moisturizer and then do the petroleum jelly.
Seal it with the petroleum jelly.
Yes.
Okay, that one I didn't know. No. Yeah. No, you know. Oh, great. Thank you so much, Yvonne. And we hope to see you again in another
Yes.
3 years,
3 years.
4 years,
Yes.
3 years. Yeah. So, guys, if for my fellow parents, if you have a son or a daughter that you would like to introduce to a skincare routine, please reach out to Yvonne. This number, and you can also find her a page on Instagram at Beauty Square KE.
Yes.
That's it. It's Beauty Square KE.
Yes.
Yeah, ndio hii hapa nimeweka hapo your handle, yes. Yeah, so if you have any follow-up questions, please feel free to reach out to her. Sindio hivyo, unaweza kupigia simu kuja kwa.
Yes, you can DM us, WhatsApp
Yes.
us, and we also do have a website where you can shop, beautysquareke.com.
Yes, so they can come for a consultation. And then also buy the products from you. Yeah. So kila kitu iko hapo Beauty Square KE. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, Yvonne. It was a pleasure having you here. Yes. And from all of us, we say bye. Let's say
Sema bye wapi.
bye.